This electric glider here, the AS33ME, is a self-launch glider with the batteries in the wing. It is not easy to find a solution to charge the glider everywhere, but I think I found the best solution for myself. The AS33ME can be charged with this charger, and you can set up 500 watts up to 3 kilowatts power. And the big question is, where does the power come from? With this setup, with the solar panels on top of my trailer, I can charge a battery during the day in the trailer and then charge the glider at night. So I have here 3 big solar panels, flexible solar panels installed with the junction box here below, so that you don't see it, that it looks super clean. And yeah, 3 of them in total. It should be about 800 watts peak. They are custom made because it is nearly impossible to get that size with a junction box here below the panel. I just think it looks so much cleaner than all the other panels you get on the market for the camper vans and so on. And yeah, let's have a closer look at the installation and let's see how the solar panels are installed. So here on the top you see that here the cables are going out. The good thing is that's a glass fiber sandwich trailer, so it's quite easy to cut the holes, and worst case I can also just put some glass fiber in there again to seal it and make it a normal trailer again without any cutouts. Here on the side they are fixed like, the cables are fixed like that, quite easy to do. Then the cable comes down here in the front. Of course it needs to be flexible, and then it goes out here to the storage, to the battery storage. The battery storage here is an EcoFlow Ultra X. It has 3.8 kilowatt hours of storage, and the good thing is I can connect here up to 4 individual panels directly. So if one solar panel is covered, has some shade, the 2 others will still charge. And this one is fixed here with these aluminum profiles with a strap here, and yeah, it's quite well attached to the trailer, and there should not be a problem even if I crash. And also it just fits here with the fuselage because it goes in here and so on. And then here on the left hand side it's connected if I want to charge the battery with the outside connector. Yeah, so everything looks super clean, it's safely installed. Yeah, so I'm very happy, and I just made this before the World Gliding Championships here in Poland. But on the other hand, they cared about the electric gliders, so there's also a plug to just plug in this power to the glider. So yeah, that's the first time I saw it at a competition in Texas, in Uvalde, for example. They just said, yeah, let's get a generator, and yeah, then you need to produce your power on your own. And of course that's not the nicest thing to do. That's why I really think it's a great solution to have here the solar panels on top of the trailer, and it's just very clean with a sandwich structure here. I think it is also still fine with the heat generation. What we did is we used here some VHB tape with stripes in this direction every few centimeters, and in between here you see that's an air gap, so the air, the hot air below, can get out of it, and especially if the air expands because it gets hot, then it doesn't damage yeah, the glue or the sealing or the panel and so on. So I heard that's super important not to seal all the sides. At least leave some air gaps here so that the hot air, the expanding air, can get out. And yeah, here it's of course a bit warm, and on the inside, let's have a look. I never tried that. Yeah, it's a bit warmer, but it's not super hot. So yeah, that's really a fantastic and easy solution. The installation took about 1.5 days with 2 person. For the first time I did that together with my brother. He was a great help for that, and yeah, I'm really happy how it turned out. but probably for those who know all the technical details about solar panels, they ask how does it work with, let's say, 800 watts peak panels in total, with the panels not installed in the perfect alignment to the sun, so they should be directly in this direction now to the sun and not like that, or if I put down the trailer, that's just not perfect, so you won't get 800 watts out of this. And that's why it is impossible to get the complete batteries of the glider recharged. So the use case of this setup for me is that I can recharge what I usually use every day to just make the self-launch. So in most days I don't need an engine to come back home, because I fly when the weather is good, when there are thermals. I need to have a self-launch to about 600 meters above ground level, and here with this setup in the competition it takes about 2.5, maximum 3 kilowatt hours. This one here has a storage of 3.8 kilowatt hours. Of course, the efficiency of charging the glider and so on, there are some losses, so it needs to be a bit more. And I think this setup works now really great. And if it's not enough, then I still have my camper van here, where I have installed about 7 kilowatt hours of LiFePO batteries as well. So worst case, I can charge my camper van at night at the campsite, at the hangar, at the club and so on, and can just drive to the glider, which I usually do at the end of the day when I clean the glider and so on, and can also charge faster with a camper van. And then at night, of course, I can use here this setup with the solar powered battery pack. Let's have a closer look here at the EcoFlow app. One thing I found out, or it was not easy to get that information on the web, if that EcoFlow Ultra X really works off-grid, that I really can use it, and also how the app and so on works, because usually you need to connect it to a Wi-Fi hotspot or a Wi-Fi connection just at home, for example, because it is made for that. So you don't get too many informations without if you don't use a hotspot from your smartphone, for example. Of course, there would be a possibility to have a small box installed here that with a SIM card, so that you always are connected to the internet. And then you could also remote control the output here of the power. So for example, if I want to charge the glider from home, or if it is stored in the trailer and I just want to charge it the day before I fly, because it's better for the batteries not to be completely 100% full to be stored. So I think that would be also a quite cool solution, but for now, for me, that works like it is, and it is super simple. And when I used that first, I used a hotspot to make the updates and so on, to get it properly up to date. But here it is cool because it also works just with the Bluetooth and this EcoFlow app. Here you can see that at the moment we have 83% of battery capacity, and we are charging with a solar power 340 watts at the moment. We can try to change here the angle of the solar panels. Now we have a bit more. Now we have nearly 370 watts. But of course, that's much less than the 800 watt peak. The angle of the sun is still not bad, but of course it's far away from directly on top of the solar panels. And what I found out is that I can nearly recharge the power bank if it is a good day with a lot of sun, with some cumulus clouds and so on. Of course, I need to do more like a long-term test here at the Worlds. I usually don't use the solar panels to recharge my glider, because it's just a bit more convenient here to get it from the power plug, especially if maybe the battery capacity is not big enough. Then I have a fully charged and fully balanced battery in the glider, and that's why I just use it 1 or 2 times up to now. For the prices, these panels here are custom made, so the price of course is not really great, but for me it was the best solution. I will test that setup, and long term, if it really works well and if some of you are interested, I may order a batch of these panels so that more people can put that on their trailers, because I think it's just the best solution. The EcoFlow Ultra X costs about 1,100 euros. I picked that one because it's the let's say cheapest and also the lightest weight solution. So it is just one power bank. From the weight, I'm not completely sure how much it really weighs. It's about 40-ish kilograms. For 3.8 kilowatt hours, that's quite good. And of course also the center of gravity here at the trailer is important. Now the power bank is installed about here, so it's a bit further forward than the axle, but I think it is still in a very good position, and the center of gravity here with the A33ME trailer is not a problem, so that's really great. If you have any technical questions about the setup or how to install it more in detail and so on, let me know. I'm now here at the World Gliding Championships in 18-meter class in Poland. We have a rest day today. It's about mid of the competition. So we have still 4 more days to race. If you are interested in more information about what's going on here, especially make sure to check out our German gliding team account on Instagram, where you will also find some interviews, some daily interviews and so on. So that could be quite cool for you. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Cheers.